Welcome to International Securities Exchange's podcast series. Facilitated by renowned educators, ISE podcasts are intended to teach beginning as well as seasoned investors the ins and outs of trading. To find an updated list of podcasts, please visit www.ise.com/podcasts. Please be sure to listen to our important message following this episode regarding the risks of investing in exchange-traded options.
Did it take you back?
I believe so.
All right. Why don't we see if we have time for a question? Do you have time for a question or two, John?
I do have time. I wanted to make sure that we did give time for a question. So my flight doesn't leave till noon tomorrow, so we have a couple more minutes.
Hey, John, what about when seasonality conflicts with some of your other, sort of your pivot analysis or just general technical analysis? What do you do then?
Well, if the seasonality of the marketplace, I like to understand what's going on. One of the markets that is very confusing all year on a seasonal perspective is gold. And I think I'd like to address that real quickly because I think that would pretty much sum this gentleman's answer. If things don't mesh, I don't do the trade. And the reason, Steve, and the reason to whoever asked that question, there's other trades, and there will always be, remember this is something I was taught 30 years ago. Don't force the trade. There will always be tomorrow. If things don't work out this year, it may work out better next year, the year after, the year after. Seasonality is not the holy grail. It doesn't work 100% of the time. It's a guide, a tool. So, it's real simple. If a trade doesn't work out with one product, the seasonality, gold, seasonally speaking, peaks out in February. It bottoms out in July. This year, it's done the opposite. It just has continued to rally or maintain value, let's say. I've not participated in the move this year, but that doesn't say that I haven't participated in a lot of other markets and a lot of other moves. If it's confusing and I don't understand it, I stay away from it.
That makes sense. Question is, how can somebody get the person pivot points for TOS? Do you actually have that on your National Futures website?
Well, if they are clients of thinkorswim, my indicator, which is the PPS, Person's Pivot Studies, that's the moving average with the buy and sell arrows, that's available for free to thinkorswim clients. You just go right where I showed you where it says Studies, add Study, PPS, and then add Person's Pivots, and you'll get two indicators, the person's pivots, which are filtered, and then the buy and sell arrows with the moving average. That's on thinkorswim's platform for their clients. If you use TradeStation, we have a TradeStation build and a complete library and a complete trading system with scanners which pop up buy and sell and alert you to buy and sell signals, which is pretty advanced stuff as well.
Tony has a question. He says, do you plan on providing it for Ninja in the future, John?
Do I plan on providing to who?
Provide pivots to the Ninja Trader?
Not at this time. Thank you for asking, though.
All right, let's see if we have any other questions. Here's one that I get all the time from Laura. The volume is so low, which FX options can we trade? Well, Laura, quite frankly, I think the volume, and if you would have seen the bid-ask spread
for you?
Absolutely.
Steve, let me answer that one for you. Laura, if we're looking for a directional trade and you're not day trading, liquidity, as long as there's more than 10, you can get in and out, generally speaking. If there's perceived value on an underlying option, like say something ludicrous like oats. I mean, I'm a commodity trader who trades stocks, and I look for opportunities elsewhere. If you're a directional trader, then you're looking for bigger moves. If there's value there, or even looking for a strategy that you're not looking for as a directional and being a credit option writer or a credit spread trader, there's still ample liquidity in some of these options that ISE has. Now, Steve, if you'd like to answer the question, it's your turn.
Thanks, John. Laura, I think the best way to look at it is take a look at the bid-ask spreads, as John sort of mentioned, and you'll notice that they're pretty tight. Even you might see some that have thousands of open interests and some that are zero. And believe it or not, the open interest, of course, we like to see numbers that are large, but if the bid-ask spread is what it is, doesn't really matter if you're trading to Thinkorswim, TradeStation, or any place else, you'll be able to hit that offer or take the offer or hit the bid pretty quickly. So that's really the best. That's your cost of doing business. The market makers have to make a couple cents, otherwise they wouldn't be in business. But again, you don't really need to be paying them 30, 40, or 50 cents either. Obviously, we're looking for very, very reasonable bid-ask spreads, which I think you'll find in just about, most of the currency pairs. A couple of, like the Brazilian real, it's not as easy to trade, I'm being honest with you. Swedish krona, not so much. New Zealand dollar, not so much. Those are more eclectic, but the majors, as John was pointing out, I don't think you have any problem getting in and out of. David has a question. It says, what indicator is called, what's the indicator called with the arrows called? I'm sorry, the one that you were using with arrows? I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time reading the question.
Well, the arrows are on Thinkorswim.
Okay.
That's called the PPS, and PPS is shortened for Person's Pivot Study.
Gotcha.
With TradeStation, the indicators on TradeStation, we don't have arrows or points. We have dots, so that's the difference. Hey, I'd like to also follow up with, Steve, your comment. It's really tough to trade the Brazilian real on any product. I don't care where you go. Okay. It's one of the markets that it might be fun to watch or listen to about, but I don't think I'd ever put a trade on the Brazilian real yet. Wait till the Olympics go there. We'll see.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I've been going back and forth with a gentleman on the Trader Forum. In fact, you guys can all go check out FX Options, where I had a question about the Brazilian real and how you could trade it. And I said to them, and you can read exactly what I said. I said, it's great to understand that you have a view on the Brazilian real. You want to hedge, but just remember, especially in the Brazilian real, you want to have a limit price that you're willing to pay and no more. Just back to John's point, because the bid-ask spreads are much, much wider there. So, just be careful.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. To find more podcasts on options, stocks, alternative markets, and market data, please visit www.ise.com/podcasts.